Hi everyone, and welcome to Community Connect. Ever met an English teacher that has a passion to be a literary magician? By day, she inspires young minds with the power of the English language. By night, she's weaving stories that can be appreciated by generations. That is our guest today, the captivating Savitri. Welcome, Savitri.
Thank you so much for your dazzling introduction. Yes, I like my persona as a teacher.
Yes.
It's really interesting, and I enjoy teaching children and to see them grow into professionals as well as useful citizens. It's actually, it makes me so much happier.
Yeah.
But
teaching wasn't quite enough for you. You wanted to weave some stories.
In fact, I wanted to do it for a number of reasons. As you said, writing a story was in my mind for a while, but it is not to kind of dazzle the audience or intrigue them. It actually started long ago when we went to India.
Okay.
That was in 2005. My husband and I went to India, and then I was able to read a number of hotel newspapers.
Right.
So there I saw harassment, inequality towards women.
I see.
So that opened my eyes, and I looked around, and then I thought, we have so many such incidents happening in our own country.
Yeah, of course.
And then I thought, like in Sri Lanka, while women face such issues every day, men also have their own issues due to certain, economic, political, and social issues that happen in Sri Lanka at the moment.
Absolutely.
And giving voice to the voiceless.
Yes.
That made me write my story.
That's wonderful. So, harnessing the power of the words was what led you to write your first novel, which is Arya's Dream. And so you've told us what sparked this incredible journey. How easy was it to write this novel for you?
Actually, it wasn't an easy thing to do. It was really a work of many years. Maybe I can say more than 10 years.
Wow.
So during that time, we traveled. We traveled to so many places, and then we visited rural villages and then plantations and so many places. So maybe from 2011 to 2019, it was a time of traveling. So whatever we gathered during that time, talking to people, reading, I read extensively about Sri Lanka and history and everything.
Yeah, wonderful.
So that actually made me think a lot about the situation there.
Yeah.
So that, as a teacher and doing English as a subject, doing English and literature, I was able to read many stories and maybe critically study and analyze them.
Yes.
So reading and writing was to me, it became easier, but writing a novel was not that easy. Yeah. I used to write, and I have been writing many articles, maybe short stories and poems and such, but writing the novel, it took a long time, and eventually, as you said, the power of the words, I think I was able to finish it last year. Right. And it was a very long journey.
And you do have a journalism background as well. Did that come in handy as you were doing your research and writing this?
Yes, I did a diploma in journalism. That was maybe a long time ago. So I learned the ropes of journalism, and then writing, and then reading. I think they helped me in writing this novel. And yes, finally, it is such a happy experience.
Wonderful. So these characters are based in Australia as well as in Sri Lanka, and they have a Sri Lankan background. I believe it's 3 characters. What was it like to bring these contrasting cultures and the individual characters to life?
Yeah, it's really an interesting question as well as challenging. When Ara's Dream, it's actually a multi-layered novel. It has 69 chapters. So every character has like 13 chapters. So in the narrative, I included 3 main characters: Arya, who is a retiree living in a rural village in Sri Lanka, and Dev, a struggling planter in a remote tea estate, and then Nesha, a battling PhD student struggling to finish her PhD. And along with them, I introduced many other characters, and then also like I used flashback and then diary entries, letters, and then maybe like dreams.
Wonderful.
So then, all these are woven into the narrative.
Yeah.
And eventually I was able to introduce other characters. Then through them, I explored some of the issues that happen to people. And then that's how Arya's Dream is like narrated. It's actually a very particular structure.
Wonderful.
Yes. Thank you.
And was your purpose to make any particular political statements or to enlighten the readers about each character's struggle? And was there anything that readers can relate to with each of these stories?
Yes, initially I didn't have that much of political motive or anything, but it is to kind of voice these concerns, mostly like in Sri Lanka. People undergo a lot of issues, and even though Sri Lanka gained independence 76 years ago, still some of these problems are there, and as a result people undergo issues on daily basis. And I wanted to give voice to those voiceless people. I think something we can do. And then with my experience of working in Sri Lanka, and then like knowing what it is to be like the underdog, I thought of like introducing these characters and basically to give them voice. And when you think about Sri Lankan literary history, I think a story I read was Village in the Jungle by Leonard Woolf. That was actually a groundbreaking story because it was written by a colonial administrator.
Right.
That was in 1913, and he explored how the poor villagers suffer as a result of these issues. And now, after 100 years, nearly like century later, when I thought of like starting my story at the end of the beginning of the 21st century, some of the issues are still the
They're
same.
still ongoing.
Yes.
That's sad in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, so exactly. And with characters like Arya, who is like better educated and maybe she has some kind of understanding, I thought of like revealing some of these issues.
Yeah. And I suppose it's probably was a challenge to make it entertaining as well. You're grappling with serious issues and yet you have to keep it lighthearted. Yeah.
Exactly. I try to make it like a light reading as much as possible, although I introduce some of these serious issues.
Yes.
However, it is not really a sad story.
Yeah.
It actually has some kind of optimistic tone to it.
Wonderful. So there's a collective quest that each of these characters have. Sounds intriguing.
Yes. Each character, as I said, is like grappling with their own problems.
Yeah.
And they all have like certain challenges they have to face. And not only they keep on thinking about their problems, they are able to help other people as well as come together as a family eventually.
Yeah.
So that actually intrigues. I hope that will intrigue the readers.
Yeah. So they're connected by blood, each of these.
They are connected by blood, but it's not obvious at the start. The way I narrated it with 13 chapters for each character, eventually it is revealed.
Yes. And with each of these characters, do you think that they are characters that people can relate to as well?
Yes.
As Sri Lankans living in Melbourne, or even the Australian community at large, anyone can read the story?
I think they are relatable characters, and they are memorable in some ways. For example, Arya has her own problems, but she is very much practical woman with practical wisdom, and she has a innate kindness and compassion and to help other people. And then Nesha, she may be struggling to complete her PhD and finish it earlier, but she does not really focus on her problems. She tries to help other people. And Dave, I think he is very fascinating, interesting character. And he has his strength, he's a very strong character. He has his sense of humor. And I think they are relatable, and in many ways they will be memorable to my readers.
Wonderful. And I think we were talking about this the other day, which was the gift of charity. And I think it's one thing to, give money or give food to the poor, for example, in Sri Lanka, but it's also about empowering them to come out of those situations, whether it be poverty or lack of education.
Yes, exactly. It is empowering the community, and it is not just being charitable. And for example, there is a character, a potter, and he is very much a strong supporter of a particular politician. And they have this blind faith that their minister will bring them prosperity and such. Eventually they all live in a fairy tale, or maybe they are in a kind of situation. They are being misled or used by the politicians as well as the village dignitaries and other people. And with Arya, who's trying to she's trying to introduce a different way of thinking. And maybe to empower people to kind of think for themselves and be independent. So that message is also there.
Wonderful. Sounds like a story that will stay in the readers' hearts and minds for a long time. So if you're looking for a book about a tale of adventure, of self-discovery, and of the unyielding power of the human spirit, then this book is for you, Arya's Dream. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Shavanti. Thank you for your time. And I would like to thank Mr. Bandu Dissanayake for arranging this for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Vishwavahini